Imagine this, the 1960s didn't just change British music, fashion, and culture. They changed what Britain built, what Britain drove, what Britain dared to imagine. In one extraordinary decade, this small island produced cars that terrified Ferrari, cars that won Le Mans, cars that a factory worker could actually afford, and cars so beautiful that Italian designers flew to Britain just to study them. 13 cars, 13 stories, and at least 2 of them involve moments so dramatic, so unexpected, that the motoring world is still talking about them 60 years later. Stay with me, because number 6 changed the rules of the road in a way nobody saw coming. And we're starting with a car that nearly didn't exist at all. Mini, 1959/dominant through the 1960s. The car that shrank Britain. Alec Isagonis designed the Mini in a fit of fury. The 1956 Suez Crisis had sent fuel prices through the roof, and the British Motor Corporation gave him just 2 years to produce something radically different. What he delivered in 1959 was borderline revolutionary, an 848 cubic centimetre engine mounted sideways to free up passenger space, front-wheel drive, rubber cone suspension, and a footprint so compact it could park almost anywhere. At launch, the press were baffled. The public were sceptical. Then the Minis started selling to everyone. Factory workers bought them. The Queen bought one, John Lennon, Peter Sellers, Twiggy, all Mini drivers. By the mid-1960s, it wasn't just a car. It was a symbol of classless, swinging Britain. It also, almost accidentally, became a rally champion. When the Mini Cooper S won the Monte Carlo Rally in 1964, 1965, and 1967, only to be disqualified each time on technicalities that many still consider highly suspicious, it didn't damage the car's reputation. If anything, it made the British love it more. Ford Cortina Mark I, 1962. The car that understood ordinary people. While the dream machines grabbed headlines, it was the Cortina that actually moved Britain. Ford designed it with ruthless practicality. Light, roomy, cheap to run, easy to maintain. A family man could buy one on a hire purchase agreement and still afford the mortgage. But the Cortina had a secret. In Lotus modified form, the legendary Lotus Cortina, it became a genuine racing machine. Jim Clark, one of the greatest drivers who ever lived, drove a Lotus Cortina to victories that left far more expensive cars in its wake. The genius of the Cortina was that it could be a school run car on Monday and a motorsport legend on Sunday. Few cars have ever managed both with such quiet confidence. BMC ADO 16, Austin Morris 1100, 1962. Britain's best-selling car you've forgotten. Here's the forgotten one. Throughout most of the 1960s, this wasn't the second or third best-selling car in Britain. It was the first. The 1100 outsold everything year after year with a ride quality, thanks to Isagonis's hydroelastic suspension, that road testers genuinely called magical. It connected front and rear wheels fluidly, so bumps were absorbed across the whole car rather than just rocked out. Yet history has been unkind to the 1100, largely because its successors were unreliable and its makers eventually went under. But in its prime, this was exactly what Britain wanted. Competent, comfortable, affordable, and entirely unpretentious. Now, so far we've had a rally champion, a family saloon with racing DNA, and the most popular car in Britain that almost nobody talks about anymore. But we're about to move into different territory, because the next cars on this list weren't built for the school run. They were built to answer a single question: how fast can Britain go? Part 2. The Speed Machines. Jaguar E-Type, 1961. The most beautiful car ever made. Enzo Ferrari called it the most beautiful car in the world. He didn't say that about just anything. When the E-Type debuted at the Geneva Motor Show in March 1961, the reaction wasn't applause, it was silence. That specific, stunned silence that precedes awe. The long bonnet, the fastback roofline, the circular taillights. Designer Malcolm Sayer had applied aircraft aerodynamic principles to create something that didn't look designed at all. It looked inevitable. Performance matched the aesthetics. 0 to 60 in around 7 seconds. A top speed of 150 miles per hour, and a price tag of £2,097. Comparable Italian exotics cost 3 times as much. Jaguar had created a supercar for the price of a very nice ordinary car, and the world genuinely couldn't believe it. Aston Martin DB5, 1963, 007's machine, and Britain's obsession. The DB5 would have been significant regardless of James Bond. It was already an exceptionally beautiful Grand Tourer, a 4.0-litre straight-six, hand-built aluminium body, a top speed of 145 miles per hour, and an interior that smelled of leather and ambition. But when it appeared in Goldfinger in 1964, driven by Sean Connery and loaded with gadgets, something happened that no marketing campaign could have engineered. The DB5 didn't just become the world's most famous car, it became a shorthand for a whole idea of Britain. Sophisticated, dangerous, effortlessly cool. Sales didn't just rise, they transformed Aston Martin's identity permanently. 60 years on, the DB5 is still what most people picture when they hear the words British sports car. Mini Cooper S, 1963, the car that rewrote rally racing. We touched on the Mini already, but the Cooper S deserves its own moment. This wasn't just a Mini with a bigger engine. John Cooper, the Formula One constructor, worked with BMC to create something that had absolutely no right to be as fast as it was. Squeezed into that tiny body was a 1,071 cubic centimetre engine tuned to produce genuine performance. Through corners, the front-wheel drive layout and low centre of gravity meant the Cooper S could do things that larger, more powerful rear-wheel drive cars simply couldn't match. It was physics-defying, corner-conquering, and infuriating to compete against. When rally drivers discovered that a car the size of a large sofa could beat everything else on a mountain stage, the rulebook of what a performance car needed to look like was quietly torn up. Lotus Elan, 1962, the car that taught the world about lightness. Colin Chapman's philosophy was simple and radical. Don't add power, remove weight. The Elan weighed just 686 kilograms. To put that in perspective, a modern city car weighs roughly twice as much. With a 1.6-litre twin-cam engine, the Elan could hit 60 miles per hour in under 9 seconds. Figures that seem modest until you drive one through a set of bends and realise that speed is not just about acceleration, it's about communication. Every input, every correction, every road surface transmitted instantly through the chassis. Driving the Elan was described by everyone who tried it as a conversation rather than a journey. Chapman proved definitively that a small British company with almost no money could build something that made Porsche engineers take notes. Part 3. The Rule Breakers Tooled TVR Grand Tourer, 1958, peak years 1960s. The wildcard TVR was founded in a garage in Blackpool, which tells you everything about its attitude. The Grand Tourer was hand-built, fiberglass-bodied, and slightly terrifying in the way that only cars with genuine power and minimal safety features can be. It had no manufacturer safety net, no corporate committee signing off the final design, just engineers who loved speed, building cars for drivers who shared that love. The 1960s TVRs were rough around the edges in ways a modern car never would be, and that rawness was precisely the point. They weren't for everyone, but for the right driver, they were absolutely everything. Triumph TR4, 1961. Wind in the hair, no compromises. Triumph's TR series had been beloved in America since the 1950s, but the TR4, styled by Italian designer Giovanni Michelotti, brought genuine elegance to the formula. A proper chassis, a 2.1-litre engine, rack and pinion steering. It exported brilliantly, becoming one of the best-selling British sports cars in the United States throughout the 1960s. In many American garages, the TR4 was the car that introduced an entire generation to the idea of British engineering. The relationship between Britain and America in that decade wasn't just musical, it had a very specific exhaust note. Rover P 6/2000, 1963. The Thinking Person's Saloon. When the Rover 2000 won the European Car of the Year award in 1964, some people were surprised. They shouldn't have been. This was a saloon car built with the obsessive care usually reserved for sports machines. A Dedion rear axle, a base unit body structure, interior ergonomics designed around the driver. Rover aimed it at professional men, doctors, engineers, architects, who wanted intelligence in their vehicle rather than mere performance. The P6 gave them both. It was one of the first cars where you felt the designers had actually sat in the thing and thought carefully about what you'd need at 70 miles per hour on a motorway. Revolutionary in its quiet way. Ford GT40, 1964. Britain built America's revenge. Here's the geopolitical drama nobody talks about. Henry Ford II tried to buy Ferrari in 1963. Enzo Ferrari walked away from the deal at the last minute, humiliating Ford publicly. Ford's response was to spend an extraordinary amount of money building a car specifically to destroy Ferrari at Le Mans. The GT40, developed primarily at Ford's Advanced Vehicles operation in England, did exactly that. In 1966, GT40s finished first, second, and third at Le Mans. In 1968 and 1969, the GT40 won again. A car conceived and largely built in Britain, funded by American Fury, used to defeat the Italians on French soil. The 1960s were genuinely cinematic. Jaguar 420/S-Type, 1963 to 1968. Grace under pressure. While the E-Type took all the glamour, Jaguar's saloon range in the 1960s represented something equally important: the idea that luxury didn't have to mean German. The S-Type and 420 brought independent rear suspension and genuine refinement to the kind of buyer who needed 4 doors but refused to compromise on elegance. These were the cars driven by successful businessmen, senior police officers, and anyone who wanted to arrive somewhere looking like they'd already won. The interiors, walnut veneer, deep leather, wool carpets, were hand-built in Coventry by craftspeople who treated a car door like a piece of furniture. That level of attention has never truly been mass-produced again. Lotus 49, Formula One car, 1967. The car that changed racing forever. We end not on the road but on the track, team, because you cannot tell the story of 1960s British cars without acknowledging what happened to motorsport in this decade. The Lotus 49, introduced at the 1967 Dutch Grand Prix, used the new Ford Cosworth DFV engine, mounted as a structural member of the chassis. It was an idea so elegant and so efficient that almost every Formula One car for the next 20 years copied it. Jim Clark qualified on pole on the car's debut. It won at its second race, and it carried the first commercial sponsorship in Formula One history, the gold leaf livery of 1968, changing the economics of the sport permanently. The Lotus 49 didn't just win races, it set the template for everything that followed. 13 cars, one extraordinary decade. What the 1960s proved, beyond any doubt, is that Britain, in the right conditions, with the right people, could build things of genuine genius. Not because of vast resources, not because of corporate safety, but because of individuals who were slightly obsessed, slightly reckless, and absolutely certain that the next design could be better than the last. The Mini that beat everything on mountain roads, the E-Type that made Ferrari jealous, the GT40 built in Slough that humiliated the entire Italian motorsport establishment, the Lotus 49 that rewrote Formula One's rulebook with one elegant idea. These weren't accidents, they were the product of a country in a very particular moment, believing it could do something remarkable, and then doing it. Which one is your favourite? Drop it in the comments, I want to know. And if you think I've missed one that belongs on this list, tell me that too. Some of the best conversations on this channel happen down there. Thanks for watching, see you in the next one.